Hello, my name is Joe Galarza. Today I'll be sharing with you some techniques on how to control your pencil as well as color pencil. We'll be working on a design that we've been working on at Sylmar Juvenile Hall. It's a black white outline, but prior to learning how to outline your work, it's more about dynamically working on shading, highlights, as well as color theory with the colors that you're going to be using into formatting your design. The way I start is from dark to light. So like the ebony is the darkest prior to the 6B will be a lot darker. The lead is a little softer, but it gets really dark. It goes from B to HB to 4B to 6B and then to the darkest of the ebony. So what I do a lot of the time is learn how to stay within the line. So when I work, I create these two lines. I bring on the paper in a certain angle because I work in an angle, and I try to keep within the line. So what I do is I start dark, darker than, get as dark, don't be afraid to get dark, like get black. Because when you start working with pencil, a lot of the time, you really want it to really fall in deep into the shade and shadow of your work. And so you work yourself down. So right now I'm doing the dark part. And it's all about the pressure of how hard you press down in order for it to go lighter and lighter. So I start with dark, working with my 6B as well. And it's all about the pressure again, guys. It's like really learning how to press down hard, how hard you're pressing down, how soft you're going to be pressing down as well. And try to stay within the line. The reason is I tell you to stay within the line is because a lot of the time we just get used to doing this type of thing. And it's like these little whirlwinds. And you don't want to get in the habit of doing that. You know, shading with the, like kind of fading with the finger. But try not to do this. Why? Because the oil of your finger gets into the paper. So when you want to really come back to the white of your paper, you cannot go back because of the oil that you leave behind, the residue and the oil that you leave behind on the paper. So it's more about really coming across your shading and staying evenly within the pressure of the work that you're doing. So a lot of the time, it's all how hard you press down. So right now, I'm trying to like even out the shade from the dark, and then I'm gonna work myself to the light as I work myself all the way down. So now I go into the next shade. And again, it's all about the pressure. It's not all pressing hard again, because right from the get-go, I did start dark and I'm pressing harder. But as I'm working myself down, you learn how to like really lose the pressure of how hard you're pressing down, because you want it to get light, right? And the sense of your highlights, your shading, it really needs to be really transitional. So now I'm using the HB. The HB pencil is the middle of all the transitions of your shading. So like for instance, the 6B, as it goes towards the B's, it gets darker. As it goes towards the H's, it gets lighter. And you start looking at and seeing how light it's getting as you're working yourself down. Learn again the pressure of your pencil. That's really important, because the fact that you start pressing harder on certain areas, you're not going to really look at the smooth transition that you really want. But look, as it works itself down here, as it works itself lower towards the lines, you get lighter, lighter, lighter. And sometimes you don't have to do as much as you did at first to it transitions to the white. So as you really learn how to work with pencils, again, transition your tone, your balance of color and shade and light. Again, learn how to look at things in black and white before you even step into color. One thing I really wanted to mention was that also watch out with your hand as you're working yourself down, because a lot of the time we go into a certain area that you already worked on and you smudge it. So a lot of the time what I do is I use another paper as I work on shading a certain area. That's what helps when you start working on pencil work. So from here on, let's work ourselves into color. So hopefully join me on the next exercise that I will be showing you how to work with color pencils. Thank you again. Much respect.
Giving in has never been an easy choice. Think about all the things you did to get here.